this is part 2 of introducing me, Kristen, and just talking about relationship.
Just, figuring things out.
Faith.
So enjoy the video. Yeah, and accountability is an interesting word too, because I feel like sometimes people that's when I hear accountability, sometimes I think that people take accountability and they almost use it as like oh, you're not doing it, like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, I caught you, you know, when it's like, it shouldn't be that. It should just be like, hey, like, let's, like, we haven't been praying as much, like, let's you know, it shouldn't be like a gotcha moment. You know,
you're not trying to guilt someone.
Well, and it's not a competition, right? I think sometimes people fall into that too with accountability, that it's like, oh, I've been doing this a lot more, like, have you been? Or almost like we're keeping a tally of who's doing what, how much, when it's like a teamwork thing. And like, I think, like, in our relationship, it's both, well, I think every relationship should be trying to get the other person to be more Christ-like, you know what I mean? And like more closer to God, and right? Like, what do you think?
100%. It's a team, as you said, teamwork. It's not one person making sure the other person is like micromanaging. It's not like that. It's like we're building each other up to be better people, both together and individually. So 100%.
Yeah. Was there any red flags?
Red flags from you?
Yeah. Anything I did? Was there anything that you were questioning, that you were like, maybe it wasn't a red flag, but maybe you were like, that's interesting, he does that. If you don't have anything, that's okay.
I know, like, if I had something.
Oh, you would have said it? Yeah. You would have brought it up? Yeah, that's one, like I said this to you already before, but that was one thing I noticed about her, was that, like, every other date that I'd gone on, or any other woman that I'd met, there was always something I found that I was like, oh, like, that's interesting that you said that. Or that was, like, I remember this one girl said, I asked her, we were talking about arguments, and then she said that she, like, this was on a first date, and she said that, if she gets mad, she won't talk to you for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, whoa, that's not good. That's not a healthy habit. So it was always something like that, where somebody would say something and they wouldn't even know. They'd just be like, yeah, like, that's how I normally am. And I was like, that's not how I want my relationship to be.
Yeah, and like, that's good that you, like, some people would just ignore that, and like, it's not a big deal, but you know, like, what you're looking for.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I knew the type of person that I was looking for. And then even, like, I've said this so many times, even other videos, that, like, even from the first date with her, I noticed that, like, I felt like this peace, like, after, like, I felt like this calmness, like, she has this feeling about her that just really relaxed me, just really made me feel.
You've said a couple of
I know. Well, because it's so true. It's true. Like, that's how I felt. Like, after our dates, like, I always just felt like this, like, like, it just was like a weight was lifted off of me for some reason.
Yeah, and for me, I was not anxious or anything. I wasn't, like, you know, on first dates you get a bit jittery. Yes, but once we started talking, I felt like it was just smooth sailing, like, no hiccups or anything. We had a lot to talk about. We talked about a lot for quite a while, and
we talked about a lot of deep stuff too.
A lot of deep stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of our values, our beliefs. And,
that's actually, like, one thing, like, when we were on the app, the dating app, the first thing that stood out was, like, you were so direct in asking about my faith, and you didn't really sugarcoat anything. You're like, okay, you want to know more about like, how I grew up and how my faith plays a role in my life. And I was like, that's new. Nobody's really asked me so directly, and like, on a, like, maybe the second day, I think you asked about my faith. And yeah, that's one thing that stood out.
Which is so interesting to me that people aren't asking. It seems like basic questions to me.
Yeah, like there are people who ask, but they'll maybe bring it up once or twice and then just leave it alone.
Okay.
And then they don't act on it or build on that. It's just...
Yeah, which to me would say that they're not actually in their faith then. They're not actually, you know what I mean? They're just kind of bringing it up in a way to say like, oh, like in my bio I did say I'm Christian, so this is my Christian question. And then we'll move on. Because it kind of shows how much of a role it plays in their life, right? If they just talk about it once in the beginning and then they move on and never talk about it again, obviously they're not that interested in it, and it's not really that big of a part of their life. Because normally somebody would talk about something a lot more if it's a bigger part of their life, right?
That's true.
So there's that. Is there anything else that stood out?
Yes.
Oh, really?
You have a nice sense of humor.
I have a nice
I don't
sense
know
of
if anyone else watching knows that, but he has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I don't know if they know me that well, but I don't know if I've released enough videos yet that. But yeah, I guess it's a good sense of humor. I make you laugh.
Yeah,
You think I'm pretty funny?
you're pretty funny. And I think you think I'm funny.
Yeah, I think I'm funny.
Like, I don't try to be funny, but just sometimes, yeah. I'll just stop at those two.
Yeah.
There's other things, but I don't want to. Let's not
like
make
personal
this
stuff.
whole.
Oh yeah,
video
okay,
you.
about me, okay, yeah. But yeah, I just I guess this is just kind of like an introductory video to see Kristen. Obviously, she's a part of my life now, so there'll definitely be more videos with her in them. Maybe just you.
Oh, just me.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Most
You'll
likely
have
the
to
both.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, most likely the both of us. But yeah, just talking about different things. And I guess, yeah, if there's any questions that anybody has, not many people comment, but sometimes I get a bunch of comments on, sometimes a video will take off and then I get a bunch of comments, but
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll see.
If anybody has comments, and then maybe we can collect those up and then answer them in the next,
or if you have any questions for me too.
or just for her as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, maybe we'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching.